Hello everyone, and welcome back to one of my reviews. Today, I'm turning you around with another review for today, and then the next few days with the other reviews. Today, I'm giving you, because yesterday I gave you my review of, I believe it was Bad Boys for Life, and today I'm giving you my review for Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, or the unofficial sequel to 2017's, or 2016's Suicide Squad, 2016 I believe. And in this movie, you got Margaret Robbie returning as Harley Quinn, as but like the beginning of the film, not big spoiler. She's basically, we're done, Mr. J. They're not together anymore, and since that has happened, it's been giving her a big target on her head, with both the police departments and other cop units on her ass, and so many other criminals who were also associates and enemies of the Joker are now essentially all on her. I realized in my last video there's too much falling noise on the necklace. So, but, in this movie, you got all that happening, and she's basically trying to do this, be on her own and trying to survive while doing that. She comes across this young kid who's like 14, 15 years old, and she's like this master pickpocketer, and she just kind of like surviving on her own while doing her own little. Well, of course, all that's happening. This villain, I believe is Black Mask, played by Ewan McGregor, is like this crime boss, mafioso type of character, kind of like, Ray Liotta in Goodfellas, in that character perspective, and she's trying to survive with a bunch of, and of course within the she's trying to, she groups up with like a former police officer and a bunch of other rejected characters, and what I do think works for, what do I do think is the ultimate breaker, or what makes this movie good and not so good, is a sense of scale. Is product of using the environment and various other aspects to its strengths and weaknesses. On one hand, that's what I like about this movie. It reminds me of the 1989 Batman movie of its size and scale of it feeling a bit smaller, and so it hits a little bit more intimately with the characters, and the use of environment and practicality works a lot better. Like, there's great environmental factors in here. There's very little green screen until like the last bit of, because you can't always help that with so many superhero films these days. I like the productivity of that. I like how it felt low on scale and budget, which ultimately gave it more character, and which also doesn't make it feel cheap at all, because all the product design felt real and tangible, like you were there and you could actually feel it, because it gives it a bit more texture. Also, one of the biggest strengths of this movie is Margaret Robbie in general. She just, even though she's not my ideal cast idea for Harley Quinn, but just like with Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, is that she really kind of makes it her own and makes it kind of go, okay, you were not my biggest choice, like my number one choice, but you certainly were like, oh, you got to prove me wrong, and I'm happy for that, because the movie really knows how to make her, like, give her so much more breadth and range, and really knows how to make her just steal the show, because she's so funny and electrifying, and such a presence that it's just like she's there, and she really knows how to make it captivating and fun and energetic, and she really is just great as Margot Robbie. She made me my favorite cat. I don't know for sure she's my favorite casting in DCEU, but she really makes it one of the most surprising supervillain performances recently. And also, a bunch of these side characters do feel like there's a lot of good performances in this movie, for the most part. And I do really like the sense of action and scope, and how it does feel low, as I said before, a little bit low cal, it's lower budget. Not really low budget, but a sense of isolation of it feeling a bit more smaller. And that's what I liked about it. It felt inconsequent, but I did like that. It felt a little bit more on small scale, but also it felt a little bit more inconsequential, as it felt kind of because it does feel so much more lower budget and lower in scale and everything like that. It does kind of make it feel a little disposable, admittedly, and kind of forgettable. But it has some really electrifying action scenes and great dynamic, great acting moments that really make it shine. Especially with the oh wait, Rosie Perez as a police officer who joins the force and joins with this crew, and how they all have this great sense of intimacy, connection, and the sense of girl bondingness really drives the narrative home of how much sense of energy and spiteness and vengeance the film has. And it's weird because I would say it does kind of have like, that stage of you type of feminist movement towards it, and it surprisingly works well, and it actually benefits from it because it actually knows how to make it really fun, and it feels like it's directing it, taking that energy and spiteness, as I said before, into this great sense of attitude and tone. It really makes it really fun and sweet and kind of just, it's like a weird mixed bag of candy, as I would describe it, because it knows how to make those strongest parts really crank them to 11, and that's what really makes this movie, in my opinion, for the most part, work as well. Now, granted, the writing is pretty messy. There's a lot of story arcs that are kind of the ongoing, which are rounded up until the end, which of course, I will admit some of the side characters do get a little sidelined, in my opinion. I wish, because they were good. I wanted, like, one of my big problems with the side characters is that for me, they felt interesting and cool enough, but I sincerely just needed some more screen time with them. I wanted to see more of them. I heard a lot about Mary Elizabeth Winstead in this movie, and she is good, but I thought she was just going to be better, and I wish there was just a little bit more screen time for her to really give her more for it. And I will say this, with so many of these actors in this movie, I do not like Ewan McGregor. Now, granted, I will say two things about this performance. Number one, he is selling it, and number two, he is giving it his all. But the character, in my opinion, is bratish. He's not intimidating at all. I can't take him seriously. Whenever he gets angry, it's not scary. I can't take him seriously. There's a scene, which a lot of people, when this movie came out earlier this year, which a lot of people were talking about how kind of controversial it was, when this character has this outburst in a dance club, and he tells off on the female person, on a lady, and it's just like, oh, this could be problematic, and it's not. The tone is vicious and mean-spirited, but it doesn't come across like a really intimidating character who, it just feels like a bratish kid who's not getting in his way, and that, I just feel like the Black Mask has his motive is there, it's just, and I would say the motive and the performance are there, it's just the performance, it's just, I don't know what to pin it really exactly, because the writing is kind of weird sparsely without the film. The writing is just so weird that I cannot put my finger on what goes wrong with it. Its writing is a really, really scattershot. The movie is shot nicely for the most part, but I really do wish it visually was just crisp. Like Wonder Woman, I remember because there's a lot of this great bronze imagery. I'll just screw it now. I'll just forget my analogy there with Wonder Woman and Shazam. I won't even try. So these two movies right here, Dan struggles on this movie, even though this movie is like not terrible for the cut above the DCU, but it's certainly like this is the third best of what they did of all the films. I would say Wonder Woman. I would say this for the franchise: Wonder Woman, Shazam. I would say this and Aquaman are kind of like in the same zone. They're fine. They're good enough. I like them fine. And then the rest can kind of burn to hell, in my opinion. I still haven't even seen Justice League. I don't give a shit if there's like a really systematic cut or whatever, and there is now, but I don't care. Like, my hope for this franchise just died years ago, and and I do like it uses the R rating, but not in a way where it totally loses sense of style under grit for it. But overall, I kind of feel a bit mixed with it. Harley Quinn, like I did enjoy it. It's like I was saying before with Batman's for Life. It was surprisingly fun. Is it a bit disposable? Yes. Does it feel a little bit too small? Yes. Is it forgettable? Admittedly so, but there's such a good sense of energy and action and practicality and straightforward performances that make it such a fun, like, girls' night gone out type of movie. And I do think that works relatively well for the most part with this film. And I do think that's his biggest strength. It has some writing narrative angles which are really flawed. And I do really think that Ewan McGregor's the villain is just kind of cringy. Like, he's just kind of hard to watch. And he comes across like a brattish child rather than an intimidating crime lord. Like, I kind of get that's the point. I mean, a second in command who there may or may not be a relationship with. By the way, I don't like. Okay, that's cool. I don't mind seeing LGBTQ characters in films like this. All I ask is them to be done well enough. Take note, Star Wars. But for the most part, I'm gonna give Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, 6.5 out of 10. It's just fine. Its narrative is really messy. It's some messy writing. I can't get over how incompetent the villain feels. Yeah. Take it for what it's worth. That's my review, everyone. I really do hope you enjoyed my reviews. As always, till then, stay safe, be smart, and, well, live crazy. Like Harley Quinn. Actually, don't, because Harley Quinn would not thrive well in this COVID era. Let's be real about that. Till then, be safe and be smart.